So this section is basically to Can you join the GCK? I'm coming. Yeah, we'll close these doors and you guys should sit there. Now. Can you close the kitchen door? I'm about to let them close the kitchen door. Hello, 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 hello. Good evening. How are you guys doing today? I hope you're great and I hope you're amazing. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm super, super excited about this call today. And I know that you're here. Just tell me where you're joining from. Good evening. Thank you. Thank you, Former. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Susie. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you, guys. And tell me where you're joining from. Please try and share this as well. Let us know those that are here and take advantage of this. Before I go in, I just want to talk about this very quickly about the main conference that is coming up. And I don't want any men in your life to miss this. All right. So if you look at that, you see that we have this amazing men conference, and we know that it's a moment where we want to look at some things concerning men, some things relating to men, and it's going to be based in London. And I want to use this opportunity just to share that, ladies, if you have a man in your life, and they're around London, brother, sister, friends, family member around London or London area, please encourage them to be in this event. It's going to be an awesome time. It's going to be a moment of learning, unlearning, and relearning. Most times they tell me who is going to talk to the men, and a lot of people wonder who is going to speak to the men. So now I want to talk to the men. I want to talk to ourselves. It's going to be exclusive. We're going to learn things around our purpose. Going to learn things about identity, brand, finance, health, emotional fitness, communication, marriage, parenting. There's a whole lot of topic that we're going to be discussing. Some re-plenary sections that we're going to have just to dive into some of those challenges that men face. So please share this with your friends and family. Let them be part of this event. I believe that this is going to do them really good, and they will not remain the same. So please share this. Let your people know. Bring them on board, and let's learn together. Right? Let's share. Let's learn. Let's discuss together. Let's find out, how can we make this thing better for ourselves, and how can we make the men also better men, and also to be able to do great things in their relationships. All right. Okay. So today, don't want to waste much of our time. We're just going to dive into what we have today. Today, we are looking at an interesting topic, which, yeah, okay, understanding sexual satisfaction, defining and measuring. Okay, understanding sexual satisfaction, defining and measuring. Wow, this is an area that I have seen most people that are married overlook. Okay, if you're single, I wish you all the best as you wait. But for those that are married, I'm talking for those that are married and for those that are not married, to learn and grow and be better and be ready as well. This area of understanding sexual satisfaction, what is it exactly? How does it look like? And what are the ingredients that make it what it is? Now, how do you measure? How do you evaluate? How do you gauge? How do you check that this thing is actually the way it's designed? And I don't want people to be shy of talking about sexual satisfaction. I don't want people to be feeling awkward when we talk about this topic, because it was created by God. And I don't know why we should be shy about it, and we should be afraid to be free and discuss it uh, openly, obviously, to a mature mind like those in this class. All right, God has given us this gift of sexual satisfaction for a reason, and it's important we know that God doesn't have sex. Okay, Jesus don't have sex, Holy Spirit don't have sex, right? Sex is for humans. Okay, and that is something God has given to us. See, let's not be deceived, because none of these guys around created sex. No Hollywood, no Bollywood, no Nollywood, not the celebrities, not the stars around, not the heroes of the world. This was created by God Himself. And for God to think about something like this to be offered to us, His creatures, and for God to choose not to do something He gave to us to do, I think is something we should celebrate. It's something we should be excited about. And it's something we should be grateful that have been given something amazing. And we shouldn't feel bad about it. Okay. But there's another flip side to this. The fact God has offered this, we know that it's been perverted, it's been reshaped. The world has brought different kind of understanding to this, and there's a lot of challenge and lot of ideologies. There's a lot of misconceptions, confusions around this space today of what sexual satisfaction is all about. Now, some has been displayed on media, some are displayed on social medias, on tabloids, some are being said in several places, and most people are confused. Unfortunately, even God's followers are confused now because of all this thing they are hearing and all this thing they are bombarding in their mind, in their thoughts. And most people also plagued with their past experiences, what they had before they get into relationship, some of the bad experiences they had as boyfriend and girlfriend and all that. And some of them had traumas and issues and sexual molestations. And all these things have so much stuff that have just been brought in into the marriage and relationship, and now we are feeling that this thing isn't great, isn't amazing. But remember, God made this. Okay, God created it, and He said it is good, because whatever He made, He said was good and was perfect. But because of sin has corrupted a lot of these things, and now our mind are not fully grasping what God has offered and what God has given to us. So I just want you to have an open mind tonight, and let's just evaluate and just discuss about this understanding sexual satisfaction, defining and measuring it, because it's critically important. You know what it is, and then you know how to find it in your marriage. And if you're not getting it, what are you going to do about it? Okay, there's no need to sit down and mourn and cry and weep and just feel miserable and feel sad. There are ways to deal with so many challenges that you might be having in your marriage, in your relationship. Hence, we are having this discussion today, and I'm hoping that this is going to give you a little bit of insight on what to do going forward. I want to begin by saying what sexual satisfaction isn't, because it's very, very important we understand that what it isn't. Now, sexual satisfaction is not when you fake you are enjoying something when you are not. It's not shouting, okay? It's not shouting, it's not screaming, right? Sometimes it might happen, but some people just fake it. Some ladies just want to fake it, to fake it to make it. You know what I mean? And then they do all these things just to make sure the man feel comfortable about this. That's not true. That's not sexual satisfaction. Okay. And it's not when you fall down, when you collapse, when you scream and shout and the neighbors are hearing and the bed are collapsing. Honestly, all these things are just things that we've added, things that the porn industry, things that the movie makers and movie production makers has made us to believe that this is what it is. Okay. And then what sexual satisfaction is not. It's not when you have sex 30 days in in a month. It's not when you have 8 sex per day. That's not sexual satisfaction. The fact that you have frequency of this, like all the time, all the time, all the time, all the time, does not mean it's sexual satisfaction. Okay, this is very, very important, because people might have a lot of it, but it's just numbers. There's no connection, no transformation, no change, right? Just like you see, unfortunately, we have people that they give themselves a lot to be used by men, if you know what I mean, and and they get involved in all these things. After a long time, you might think that, oh, they've had great and amazing time, but just because you know you have several store with different men doesn't mean that it's great. And remember, we're talking about in the confinement of marriage. So while you are listening to this, I just want you to reflect over what you call sexual satisfaction, what it is. So we're going to just talk about it in a very, very nutshell. What exactly is sexual satisfaction? I think just looking at the title, satisfaction. How do you know you are satisfied about something? You got to measure that stuff. How it makes you feel. Okay. Do you feel fulfilled? Do you feel happy? Do you feel excited? Because we all know that we have that natural feeling to know when something is good, when something isn't. If you listen to a song, even if you can't sing, you know that the song is good. Yeah, I love the sound. There's a feeling, there's a hormone, there's some chemicals that is being released in you. Some people feel this pleasure, which is another word for satisfaction, maybe taste of a food, right? Or somebody have bought them something, okay? Or maybe they've just had good night rest. They're just happy. Or they've just listened to good music or listened to good sermon. They're just happy. Some people are just happy. They just feel this pleasure. They've gone to do exercise and they just feel strong. They feel amazing. They've taken some walk and their body is just full of endorphins and all these beautiful love hormones and feel good hormones. And you take a shower, you just feel amazing. Some people just swimming in the beach, they feel refreshed, they feel nice. Some people just sitting outside in the summertime, and you're having this cool breeze going through their bodies. They feel good, they feel nice. So it's about feeling. You have to feel something, okay? And it's not something that you fake, it has to be real. Every adult knows what is fake and what isn't fake, especially when it comes to this. You know, because your body is going to tell you, right? Is the chemicals released? Are you feeling contented? Are you feeling happy? Do you feel this bond, this excitement? Do you feel this state that just makes you feel good and feel amazing? That's what it is. So when they say sexual, it's now something that's being offered to you from your husband, from your wife, that makes you feel good. Now that is sexual satisfaction. It's not in the numbers. Okay. So just be very clear about this because it is absolutely important we know what this is. Otherwise, we might just be thinking we're having a great time, but we aren't having a great time. So sexual satisfaction makes you feel something. It releases something in you. There is this contentment, there is this smile, this excitement in you. There is this hormone that makes you chill. Your body's your there's some level of distress taken away from your body. You just feel this calmness, this serenity, and this satisfaction overall. That's what it is. And it's important we know that. Now, but don't forget that having this level of satisfaction and pleasure is multifaceted. I mean, it's all encompassing. There's a lot of elements. There's different dimensions of us that need to be whole. I need to feel and get to this place of absolute pleasure. All right. There's this deep intimacy that you get out of this mutual pleasure that you have, this sense of personal wellness and personal satisfaction. That is really, really powerful. And that helps you to know if I'm actually having this excitement and if this is really good. So, as we embark on this exciting journey of understanding and measuring self satisfaction, I just want you to know that it's a crucial part of our lives and a part of our intimate lives. But most time we overlook it, but it's something that is important, which I want us to dive in very shortly. But remember, the intensity of your orgasm, the frequency of when it happens, and the screaming and the shouting does not necessarily mean that's what sexual satisfaction is all about. It is a holistic concept which we must bear in mind, and the concept should include the physical pleasure that we have, the emotional connections that we have, the good communication that comes out of it, the overall wellness and calmness that we receive. Okay, so I'm just going to offer some friendly, practical ways to understand and measure sexual satisfaction in your marriage. All right, the first one is physical satisfaction. The first one is physical satisfaction. Now, this basically relates to the amount of physical pleasure, physical satisfaction, and fulfillment derived from sexual activities. Okay, obviously this will include factors like frequency of the sex. It's going to also include factors like ability for you to climax, to reach orgasm, but overall is the pleasure that you derive from that sexual encounter with your spouse. Okay, and in getting that physical pleasure, there are certain things obviously that needs to happen in the process. Okay, and this is where you are very open to discuss about your own personal sexual needs openly with your partner. Yeah, you are willing to explore, you're willing to learn about each other's bodies because it works differently. Okay, this is not a race to finish. Let me get to the end. This is where you take your time to learn each other's body and their reactions and the dynamics of how it flows. But overall, you have to find way to enjoy this with each other. That is so powerful, and that helps you to see that physically I'm satisfied. And how would that happen from a physical application perspective? You need to go deeper, gouge into your level of physical satisfaction by asking yourself, am I physically fulfilled in my sexual encounter with my husband, my wife? Hmm? Am I satisfied? Do I feel fulfilled? Do I feel connected and loved about this? If the answer is no, I think it's time to explore new stuff. It could be techniques, it could be positions, it could be touch, it could be all sorts, which is very, very important. Okay. So, what I'm trying to explain and what I'm trying to emphasize is that as you continue to discuss, as you continue to share, as you continue to learn, as you continue to understand one another, it becomes better and better and better and better when it comes for physical satisfaction perspective. And you will know. This is so real. You will know. Okay. Now, this is where the physical art happen. Now, let's look at the second aspect of actually measuring and understanding sexual satisfaction. Two, emotional satisfaction. Now, this is where everything that needs to happen even before the act. Now, this involve, are you feeling loved? Are you feeling like you're number one? Are you feeling prioritized? Are you feeling desired? Are you feeling that you can open up and connect with your spouse very easily? Are you feeling vulnerable? Are you able to share everything with your spouse? Do you have things that you hold back from your spouse that is even killing the ability for you to be you? Okay. Because it's not just about the physical, there's an emotional aspect of this. And this is moments, unique moments together, the moment to connect, moment to talk, moment to discuss, moment to share, moment to reflect about things, right? Because if you're not feeling desired, if you're not feeling loved and cherished, if you're not feeling respected, if you're not feeling that you're being violated, taken for granted, then you are comfortable to connect with your spouse. And most times, this thing happens throughout the day, from morning to afternoon to night. And the way you interact, the way you do things, the way you support each other, all these things are part of how you bond emotionally. And I want to emphasize that both men and women need this. However, I think women also need this a lot because for them, sexual satisfaction is great, it's amazing from a physical perspective, but emotional is a big deal. They want to they want to feel that emotional bond with you as a man. And this might involve expressing their feelings more openly and spending more quality time together. Now, if you don't have time to spend with your spouse, you don't have time to be freely open and also let them know those challenges that you are facing that you may not want to share with anyone. If you're not able to do that, then that's going to be a problem. And I also emphasize that throughout the day, foreplay could happen. Foreplay is not just necessarily in the room, in the bedroom, or where the physical act needs to happen. Just the way you share, the way you text, the way you communicate could be that. The way you hold each other, touch each other, support each other during the day in the kitchen, the hallway, out and about, walking. All these things are very important because it expresses deep connection, deep appreciation. It nurtures that emotional connection that you can't find with someone else, but with your spouse. The bond becomes stronger. So during sexual activities is just a spark that will take you guys to where you need to be. The interaction will be more meaningful, more fulfilling, more exciting because you're not just faking anything. You know that both of you are truly, truly connected and emotionally connected. And how do you know that you're not emotionally satisfied? When there is no bond, when there is no connection, when you have lost that friendliness, that friendship spark, okay, that you once had, but now it's gone. So when you see yourself as roommates, when you see yourself as flatmates, when it's just feeling like a chore, you know what I mean? I mean, you're married, but it's feeling like it's a chore. It's like a hard work. Oh, it's so hard, to be with this man. It's so hard to be with this woman. This is so difficult. Now there's no emotional connection there. Let's just be real about this. There is no emotional connection there when you feel like you are struggling, when you feel like it's such a hard work to connect with your spouse, to be with your spouse, to have time with your spouse. When you feel like a hard work, and also when you feel like you are not available for each other, even though you're in the house, but you're mostly either television is taking your attention or something else, or laptop or phone or social media, you don't have time to quality engage each other in meaningful conversations. You don't even have date nights at home to connect, play games together, watch something together, talk about it, read a book together, laugh, joke, play. If those things doesn't exist, then emotional connection is no longer there. And when you are not free to play, you know what I mean? When you're not free to play, all kind of play, when you're not free to be yourself in front of your spouse, because you might be feeling that they're gonna criticize you or judge you, or they're gonna say something that is going to annoy you, or you guys cannot just talk adequately and clearly and like comprehensively like adults. When you are not feeling that level of intimacy, then there is no emotional satisfaction. You can have sex, but you're not connected. That is why somebody can have sex with a prostitute, okay, but they're never connected. Are you getting what I'm saying? So unfortunately, some people in the marriage are almost having sex like prostitutes, okay? But they are just doing that because they are married, but there is nothing coming out of it. So the sex is like a prostitution sex in the marriage, because there's no emotional connection, there's no emotional bond. And as a man, as a woman, it's critically you find a way to get back to emotional connection. Otherwise, sexual intercourse is going to feel like a burden. You see what I mean? It feel like a burden. You're very tired, okay, and you just feel really upset about certain things, and you don't know how to deal with things. If you do not find a way to get back into that mood and that connection again, everything will feel tiring, boredom, uninteresting. You just feel like this thing is just not my thing. And do you know why most times emotional connection is no longer there? It's because there are certain underlying conflict they've not resolved. There's certain underlying unforgiveness they've not resolved. There's certain things that are just bothering them they've not resolved. Because those things kill emotional connection. You can be in the house with your husband and with your wife for 1 week, for 6 months, but you feel like strangers. You know what they call foreigners and strangers. That's how you feel in your own home, because there is no emotional satisfaction. And for you to be fully emotionally present, you have to be vulnerable with your spouse. Authentic, real. Let them see your good, your great, your ugly side. It's okay. But they see all that, but they don't judge you. You see, that's the difference. Somebody can see your quack side, somebody can see your low side, somebody can see your ups and downs, and they still love you anyway. They still care and respect you anyway. They still do everything they can to help you anyway. Yes, they know that you might need improvement and support, but the way they come about it is not to put you down. It's not to make you feel like this. It's not to make you feel miserable. Then that is not great. That is not exciting. And that is not what God wants for us when it comes for sexual satisfaction. So you need to pay attention to that. Number three, this is another powerful one. Remember, I told you this is a holistic approach. It's a wholesome concept when it comes for understanding sexual satisfaction. We've talked about physical side of things, emotional side of things. Now, this is another biggie, another big one: communicative satisfaction. Communicative satisfaction. I don't know how much I need to stress this. Is it possible that you're married, but you cannot communicate freely with your spouse? Is it possible that you are in your home, there are certain things you can share, there's certain things you cannot talk about because you believe that they're going to gender conflict, they're going to gender issues, they're going to create more problem for you. And at the end of the day, you realize that what is not addressed expand, and you guys become more distance. So you might be listening and be saying, I have this thing to talk about. I have this thing to discuss, but he doesn't listen. She doesn't listen. The question is, how do you go about it? Do you approach it in a manner that the person feel that you're not attacking them, feel that they are welcome? Are you approaching it in a manner that they're comfortable to share, to discuss? Or you are the one that when they share something with you, you use it against your spouse when you are not happy, when you are upset, when they've not done what you wanted them to do, when things are not working according to your plans and your terms. And then you pull out all those things you know about your spouse and you hit them back big time. How do you expect them to feel? How do you want them to even be open? And I want to say something here, right? To the ladies. Most times ladies come to me, they say, "Oh, my husband doesn't talk. Oh, my husband doesn't talk." Well, that's not entirely true. Because this guy, you see him with his friends. If you see the way he talks, at work, he talks. With every other person, he talks. But why is it that he doesn't talk with you the way you want? Have you asked yourself, am I very critical about this guy? Because those ones outside, yes, they may tell him off once in a while, but they're not consistently day to day, back to back, bashing him, criticizing him, putting him down, and all that. If you do that to a man, he will never talk. Literally, he will just keep quiet when he's with you. When he goes out, check him out. He's having conversation with the friends, conversation with the business partners. He's so vocal, he's so expressive, he's just himself. But the moment he comes back home, or you are there, you guys went out to eat, he doesn't talk. You went to eat, date night, no talking. You're in the car, no talking. At home, no talking. Even when he talks, it's one, 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 one. The question is, why is he doing that? And some people say, "Oh, my husband is not the talking type. My husband is not a talking type." Yeah, I know that. Really? No, he talks. Trust me. When they find their zone, when they found the people that connect with them, you will literally tell this person that doesn't talk to shut up. Like literally, shut up. But because of the way you treat the man or you treat the woman, they can shut out. And then you wonder, they're not talking. No, they're talking, but not just with you. Because when they talk to you, you make them like this. But when they talk with those outside, they allow them to be like this. But when they talk to you, you make them to be like this. How do you not expect them to talk with you the way you want? So, communication satisfaction is part of sexual satisfaction. That is so powerful. How well do you communicate your desires? How well do you communicate your needs? How well do you communicate what you want? How well do you communicate concerns relating sex? How authentic and unique are you communicating about certain things like boundaries? How well are you good at that? So I want you to assess your level of communication. And what is your communication style? Are you the one that don't talk? You just run away when there are things, hide in the cave? Are you the one that your words are very scary? You're just so aggressive? You know, are you comfortable discussing your sexual needs, boundaries, your concerns with your spouse without any form of fear or retribution of any kind of punishment? If not, then you need to work on, maybe you have to be more open and honest about your communication. You could start by being just candid about the conversation about your sexual satisfactions. Sometimes we know there are things that are bothering us that we need to share, but we're not sharing it any longer because our spouses are not listening. I want to encourage anyone watching this and is going to watch this in replay. I want to plead with you to just let your spouse be themselves. Okay. If you do this exercise, right? Okay. If you do this exercise, let's say you went back home today and then you say, "Honey, can we talk?" "Oh, yes." "When? How? Where?" And just have a rule in place. No shouting, no screaming, no judgment, no condemning, no this, no that. There's something I want to share with you, and I'm going to share it from a tone of calmness, very calm. This is what is happening. This is what is going on. Um, I've been faking orgasm for a long time, for the past 7 years, past 10 years, for the past 2 years in this marriage. Because I don't want to hurt your feeling, but I'm also being hurt, and I feel like I'm not enjoying this. So boring, so tiresome, and so I don't know what we can do about this. Or you can even tell your spouse, both of you, to share what you don't like that they are doing, and tell them what you like that you want them to continue. Each person will give what you don't like and what you like. 3 3, and be open and honest about it. If you can do that today, tomorrow, this weekend, watch out. They're gonna be honest and tell them this is not judgment. Don't be critical, don't point finger, don't condemn, don't judge. Just just state the fact. And what is the fact? The fact is that I have been faking orgasm for a long time because I feel like if I tell you the truth, I might possibly hurt your feeling. That's one. Number two, I don't like the way you shout at me. Like you shout so much, and that really puts me off. And after shouting, you then you want to make love. Doesn't make sense. And also, we are seriously angry with each other right now, and we're not happy. And you know this thing is important to me, but instead of us settling it, the next thing you're touching my leg, touching my bum bum, and you want to do something. Can we just clarify this because that thing is still there? Be honest and just talk about what the issue is, right? What do you have to lose? Okay. And then if your husband is the one that doesn't listen, is the one that's just full of ego and pride, is the one that just don't want to sit down, find a time. Study your husband. Find when you're gonna communicate something. Is it after sex time? Fine. Is it after food? His favorite food? I mean, what is it that melts him? What is it that gets to him? Find it. And then look for the best time to actually connect and share this information that means a lot to you. Otherwise, we continue just being in denial all the time. And at the end of the day, you're just suffering in silence. So communicate, share, discuss, talk about things that is bothering you. And then number four, psychological satisfaction. This is very important. This is so important because a lot of men and women are just traumatized because of the psychological aspect of themselves. What I mean by psychological satisfaction, I'm emphasizing you feeling good about you, and then feeling good about yourself, feeling good about your body, and also feeling good that you have the privilege and opportunity to be present to make love to your spouse. And that's psychological. The mind is key. What's in your mind? How do you view your body image? Are you the one that is so shy about your body, shy about your legs, or shy about the marks? You're someone that is feeling so insecure about who you are and about how you deal with things. That's gonna affect sexual satisfaction. If your mind is not in alignment with the pleasure that you seek and desire, you're not gonna get it. And psychologically as well, what are the kind of words that are being spoken to you? What do you hear? What do you watch? What do you see? All these things has impact in framing your psychological satisfaction when it comes for sexual satisfaction. And if your mind is closed, you're fixed minded, you're not easily open to learn new things. You're not easily open to try new techniques, new sex positions, like we've been doing in our mastermind group, where we've been talking about the 30-day sex challenge. And for those that have been there, you can see the challenge that we are pushing you to try things that you haven't tried before. And it's important to try that. 30 days, different positions. It's incredible. You don't have to do it every day, but just find something that you can try differently from your normal supernatural missionary position in the heavenly places. Psychological mindset. Okay. Are you able to shift your mindset? Are you able to think differently? Are you able to agree that you don't know and you want to be taught? Are you teachable? Do you have high willingness index? Do you have high teachability index? Do you have the ability to change your position if you find something better that can support the position that you are in that possibly is not serving you properly and you want to make some change? So ask yourself, do I feel confident and desirable during intimate moments with my spouse? Am I confident of my body, regardless of the marks that are there, regardless of whatever the body size? Am I confident right now? If you struggle with self esteem or body image, consider practicing things like positive self talk or possibly seek professional help. Because at the end of the day, whether you like it or not, you are amazing. You just have to tell yourself that I'm amazing. Whether you like it or not, you are amazing. Absolutely amazing. I mean, think about it. If you want to just find out different faces, different head, different body shape, different boob types, different buttocks types, different sizes of the body or stomach or whatever you want to just walk on the street, you see that we're different. The features are different. We're not all the same, but it's important to embrace what you are and what you have. Oh, I should have been like that person. I should have been like that person. Unnecessarily giving yourself psychological pain and torture just because you want to be this celebrity or this superstar or movie star or fashion icon or whatever they call it, and you're just making your life miserable, your marriage miserable, your bed life miserable because psychologically you have been deceived. I'm not saying you should not improve. I'm not saying you should not be inspired. I'm not saying you should not learn. But what I'm saying is, by the time you start subjecting yourself to the extent that your marriage is suffering, your husband is suffering, your wife is suffering, just because of a body image that you saw somewhere or something you believe about yourself, and now everybody is suffering because you are suffering mentally, that would not be great. Okay. I mean, if you think about it, you can see that my nose is not, it's not a pointed nose like my wife knows. But I'm satisfied with the nose. I'm not going to change it. I'm okay with it. My mouth, my head. Okay, if you think about it, most of you know that I'm bored. Bored and handsome. Bored and amazing. Bored and great. And so, uh-huh, why am I going to just feel so miserable and sad about my body? So I want to challenge you. Do you do you truly cherish what you have? Because that body you have now that you don't like, you hate, and you're saying all sorts of things, and you're depressed and you're feeling sad, and you look yourself in the mirror and you're like, "Oh, I don't like this," and you hold this side, you hold this side, you it's like want to ring different parts of your body, and then you suddenly become miserable, sad, depressed. Why do you take these psychological problems upon your head just because of the way you look? Okay, fine. If you are more than the size you should have, it's your work in progress, right? Your work in progress. I'm not going to promise you that it's going to happen overnight, but yes, we encourage each other to have the right body mass, have the right body weight, look great, look amazing, and all that stuff. But we're not going to do that and die. Does that make sense? We're not going to strive to do and then we die. Or in the process of becoming, you now become miserable becoming, sad becoming, depressed becoming, sick becoming. Then can you stop the becoming? Because it doesn't make any sense, right? So think about your psychological state, because that also play a major role in sexual satisfaction. The last one that I'm going to talk about is very important. Absolutely important. Spiritual satisfaction. We talk about sexual satisfaction. We've seen physical satisfaction, see emotional satisfaction, communicative satisfaction. We've seen psychological. Now we're talking about spiritual satisfaction. You need to understand that you are a spirit being, whether you like it, whether you don't like it, whether you believe it, whether you don't believe it, you're a spirit being. And the spirit being and the spirit that you carry is the operating system that supports all the other elements within you. And that thing is connected to something bigger than you, something greater than you. Because the spirit you carry is not yours, it was given. Because you were made from a greater power, a greater being. So you are a creature of a creator. Okay? A creation for something bigger and greater. So in marriage and relationship, it's important to understand this correctly. We have the spirit, we have the soul, we have the body. And the spirit is critically important to the functioning of the other dimensions of us. And that is the intuitiveness, the connector to something bigger and greater. So I want to be very frank here. I'm not talking about being religious. I'm not talking about getting involved in spiritual activities and meetings and rituals and routines that makes you feel like you are connected to something bigger and greater. I'm talking about truly being relatable to the super intelligent designer. You have a relationship. You can taste that relationship. If you think about the five senses that we have today, the eyes, I can see something, but I'm not touching it, right? I can smell something, but I'm not holding it. Okay. Now, I can also touch something. It's just the skin. I'm touching something, but it's not really intimate. But there's one out of all the senses that is so powerful. It's taste. Taste. When you taste something, you can isolate a lot of flavors in that thing. You just get engrossed with it, and you can actually interpret the pleasure you are getting from what is nice. So you become engulfed with the element of what you taste. So you are intimate with it. Do you know that that is the way your spiritual satisfaction should look like? It should not look churchy. It should not look ritualistic. All right? It should not look routine like. It should be engulfed with an intimate relationship with your Heavenly Father. Spiritual satisfaction is huge because your husband, your wife, they are aid. They are aid to your awareness. Sometimes they are there, sometimes they are not there. Sometimes they make you happy, sometimes they don't make you happy. So it's very ephemeral, it's very transitional. It's not permanent most times because we're in this part of the world, we are still work in progress. We are highly limited, we are not God. But the spirit in you is what connects you with this engulfing relationship. immersive. You're so immersed. It's like soaked up in a water, like completely immersed. That is what gives you the overall satisfaction in life. Your husband can satisfy you, but not ultimately. Your wife can satisfy you, but not ultimately. The one that satisfies ultimately give you this sense of spiritual and other dynamic fulfillment of overall satisfaction is God through Jesus Christ. And that is why you need to think about your relationship with God. Stop being religious. Stop being involved in all this show up, show up, show up, show up. And he doesn't know you intimately. He's your savior, but he's not your Lord. Does that make sense? When Christ is your Lord, then you begin to have satisfaction that is huge. Lord is different from Savior. You need to understand that. Savior rescues you, saves you, frees you, so that can gives you some element of fulfillment that you now belong to a new kingdom, a citizen of heaven. You're now in a different dynamics, a different environment. That is the initial relationship with Christ. The second part is the one that I'm talking about. And that is when he becomes Lord, which means he's in charge of your life. This is critical for your overall satisfaction in your relationship and your overall fulfillment in your bedroom life. I hope this had proved significant, that it is not about how you rush it, it's not about how long, it's not about how frequent, it's the quality involved, it's the holistic, encompassing dynamics within your relationship, from a physical satisfaction, emotional, communicative, psychological, and spiritual. All this embodies other subset of satisfaction that you can get in your marriage and relationship when you approach it from this format. So I want to say a massive thank you for those that have joined us. Thank you. But just want to know if we have any question here. Anyone with any question? Or just tell me what you're taking away. Okay. Let's know what you're taking away, what you've learned so far. Thank you so much, Leah. Thank you, Toby, for sharing. All right. So let me just know what you're taking away, or if you have any question, just put it on the chat, and then we can also look into it. All right. But while we're just doing that, I just want to bring back this again for those that were not here, that this program is happening on the 15th of July. And we are super excited because we are working hard and getting ready to give us an experience of our lifetime. And I can tell you that the men are going to have an awesome time. You're going to have a beautiful time, being part of this event. So if you know anyone in London area, please share this with them. Let them know, because we're having a men exclusive, I mean exclusive event for the men. And this is where we're going to talk about the purpose of manhood. We're going to talk about the identity of a man. You know what is happening today, financial aspect of a man, mental, emotional, healthiness of a man, the attractiveness of a man, parenting. We're going to talk about marriage, navigating relationships from a man's perspective, leadership. Okay, we're going to talk about all these things, personal development, how we can push the man to become the best version of themselves. And that is why you cannot afford to miss this event. You need to be a part of this event. So, ladies that are here, I will encourage you to share with your brothers, sisters, friends, uncles, anyone you know over 18 around the London area, so they can be part of this event. Because we know that this is something that will change and transform their lives if they are ready to take this to a whole new level. All right. So I want to say a massive thank you. Let's see if there's any comment. Okay, so just thank you. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you. Insightful. Yes, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Naji, thank you very much. Okay. And then we also, yeah, and don't make God your savior without your Lord. Okay, don't make God your savior without your Lord. Okay, fantastic. Right, thank you so much for that. I want to appreciate everyone that have joined us today. Please share this video, let them know, let them watch this, and let them take action. By helping one another, we can actually support them to build their relationships and their homes. Let's not hold back because I believe that we're here to support each other. God bless you. Have a lovely week or weekend just approaching, and I will speak to you guys soon. Take care.